Welcome, it's denome and welcome to this update. Why did the price drop all the way from 61,000 to 58,000? I'll tell you in this video. I will also tell you what I think will happen in the short term, and I will basically unpack the news that have happened in the past, and we will take a look at the fundamentals and the charts obviously as well. This time, let's actually start with the charts. So when we take a look at the chart here, this is a breakout pattern. So we broke out to the upside from the yellow line here to the upside, and that has not happened here or here. So this is a sign of strength from Bitcoin. And just looking at the chart, it just makes sense that we may have a bounce either from the breakout level from here, $57,500, or we go and retouch the yellow line and then we bounce back to the upside. But nothing has basically broken in the markets. I'm not seeing any bullish or bearish divergences. It's just like a very boring week pretty much. But when we take a look at the weekly candle, this is getting a little bit exciting. So when we take a look at the weekly candle, you can see this huge wick to the downside and then a bounce back. And this was the print for the week. And usually when you see something like this is a sign of a bottom pattern or a bottom candle as well. So you can see one here. This was the bottom. You can see one here. That was the bottom. You can see a couple of them here, but this is not exactly the same. You can see one here. You can see one here. So usually when you see that in at the bottom, that's a very clear signal that the trend might actually reverse. Here is another one as well. So maybe we will reverse quite soon. Obviously we can wick below, and that's basically would be the absolute bottom. But even now it looks like Bitcoin is in a good position to even bounce from these levels. But all in all, the price looks quite good. Then before we take a look at the news, I want to show you some of the fundamentals. So first off, we still have Mt. Gox Bitcoin distribution ongoing. So 45,600 Bitcoin are still in the process of being redistributed. But the good news is that already 67.8% of the supply has been distributed to people, and the price has basically already crashed. So I think most of the worry has already bypassed from the market. Then when we take a look at the Santiment here, and Santiment, by the way, is a tool that you can use and sign up for. There's a link in the description, and you can basically look under the hood of Bitcoin. But anyway, the first thing that I want to show you is this chart here. This is showing us the wallet balances of wallets that have 0 to 1 Bitcoin, and 1 to 100 Bitcoin, and 100 to 1000 Bitcoin. And basically all of these have been in accumulation mode. Except just lately we see a small dip of retail investors actually selling at this price peak here. But the others are actually still accumulating here. So we are seeing a lot of accumulation even now, even as the price pumped. If the price of Bitcoin goes lower, I'm expecting even more accumulation. It seems like the whales and the big players are just mega bullish on Bitcoin. So I'm expecting very good things for the price. When we take a look at the supply held by miners, Bitcoin miners are very critical. And from basically the halving from April, we saw miners selling Bitcoin. But from June, the sell pressure has basically stopped from miners. Then we saw some buying here, and then they sold to this dump here. I don't know what happened here, but it seems like we're like aiming for that local bottom here. I don't know if it will continue to go to the downside or we start to go hover sideways. But as of now, at least it seems like most of this, I don't know if they bought Bitcoin and then they regretted and sold. I don't know what happened, but I feel like this large sell pressure from the miners have actually stopped as well. Maybe not, maybe yes, I don't know. It looks like that to me. Next up, when we take a look at the old money, what they have been doing, we did see some people who held Bitcoin for more than 365 days and between 1 year, they actually sold. But really old money that have held Bitcoin for more than 3 years, they are still not selling. So they are still expecting higher prices. They don't want to sell here. So this is obviously probably good. It's not great that these, let's say, medium-term whales have been selling, but it is good that at least the long-term whales are still not selling. So that is quite bullish in my opinion. Obviously, we would like to see something like this where nobody is selling. Like not old money is selling and not even the short-term money is selling. We want to basically see completely flat, but this is the second best outcome basically. Next up, over the weekend we did not see any new prints from stablecoin issuers, so it has been pretty much flat over the weekend. So let's see on Monday what happens then once again. But all in all, this is quite good that we saw a lot of money printing, $2.5 billion to be exact. So this is a lot of new stablecoins in the market. And some people are asking, is this because people are selling their crypto to get stablecoins? And that cannot really be the case, because how you mint new stablecoins is you have to lock in fiat currency to get a stablecoin. So if people would sell their Bitcoin and crypto to get stablecoins, they would have to first sell it for fiat and then lock in the fiat to get the stablecoin. And that just seems like you're exposed to multiple different conversions and you have to pay fees for each conversion. So I don't understand why people would go that route, unless this was done by Circle or Tether themselves, that they sold their cryptos and got more stable coins into the market. I don't know what happened, but it seems like the basic version, if you take out all the conspiracies and all these things, is that when you see this grow, it means that people want to have stable coins on blockchain, and that is bullish. I think that's the best way to look at it, and the simplest way to look at it as well. We are seeing more negative funding rates for Bitcoin on Binance, and this is typical for a local bottom for Bitcoin price, unless we're heading for a huge downward move on Bitcoin, but it doesn't seem to be the case. When we take a look at the total supply on exchanges of Bitcoin, we can see that more Bitcoin has been withdrawn from exchange wallets as well, even as the price went upwards, again signaling that people want to accumulate Bitcoin. When we take a look at the United States government, they haven't really been selling at all. So the last outflows from this wallet, this view has now changed, but they sold 300 Ethereum last week, but no more Bitcoin. So at least as of now, they don't seem to be in any hurry to sell more Bitcoin. I don't know what happened with this view. Anyway, let's continue. Bitcoin ETFs, we did see an outflow on Friday, which was followed after $200 million inflow into ETFs. So this will be interesting to see what they will do on Monday once again when the markets open. But all in all, the ETFs aren't really the market makers. They are mostly they are following the price. Like you can see that most of the buying happened at the exact peak here and at the exact peak here, and then when the price went down, that people were already selling. So the ETFs are not exactly the greatest at timing the market, as we have seen already. But on the Ethereum front, this is interesting, because on the Ethereum front, when we take a look at the ETFs, when we started to follow these Ethereum ETFs, the outflow from the Grayscale fund and the ETFs was minus 155,000. And that was, I think, roughly 2 weeks ago or 1.5 weeks ago. But now this is only down 124, which means that since we started reporting on this, and now there's been an accumulation of 30,000 Ethereum into the ETFs, which is pretty nice to see. And when we take a look at the charts here, even though these numbers are not exactly 100% aligned, still, when we take a look at the numbers, you can see the grayscale here. This has been diminishing and diminishing and diminishing and diminishing, meaning that the sell pressure has gone down, down, and down, and down. Meanwhile, the inflows into the ETFs have still been online. But as you see those zeros, that means there's lacking information, or I don't know what's going on there. But these numbers always keep changing even days after the fact. So I don't exactly know how these numbers come to exist, but still we are seeing accumulation into the ETFs of Ethereum. So this is very, very nice to see. So I guess now we can say, at least for now, these have been flipped from selling to now accumulation mode as well. So this is quite nice. Next up, now we can get to the reason why we saw this dump here. So there was a piece of news that may have caused this dump. So here's the piece of news. I just got interrupted by my kid, but let's continue from here. So BitGo is set to transition wrapped Bitcoin business to multi-jurisdictional custody. So why can this be bad is because Justin Sun's name is attached to this project here. So let me actually show you first what happened here. So on August 9th, there was a statement that the company will now begin a 60-day transition period to basically diversify from United States alone into also include Hong Kong and Singapore jurisdictions. That will basically allow them to have multiple different locations and like distribution of keys to basically enhance security. And unfortunately though, Justin Sun and Tron Network are involved here. So there's a company called Bit Global, and that is causing some of the tension here. So the Bit Global, I don't know exactly what is the company composition, who owns it, who doesn't own it, but Justin Sun is basically involved in that company somehow. And what the BitGo, the issuer of wrapped Bitcoin protocol, has now reiterated is that Justin Sun will not have the ability to move any funds. So basically, don't worry about it. But this, obviously, people are still iffy about it. I have made a video about the wrapped Bitcoin protocol as well. And the reason I made the video about the wrapped Bitcoin protocol is that I saw some red flags or orange flags in the protocol in the past or the most recent bear market. And from that video, nothing basically happened. The wrapped Bitcoin protocol, which is still the protocol, like if you want to interact with Ethereum blockchain and you want to use Bitcoin as collateral for loans, or you want to swap for Bitcoin, you actually have to use the wrapped Bitcoin protocol, or it is the most prevalent protocol for on-chain Bitcoin. So wrapped Bitcoin is basically the custodian for, or BitGo is the custodian for the wrapped Bitcoin protocol. And the question that I had when I made the video on wrapped Bitcoin is, will you be able to get your Bitcoin back and unwind the wrapped Bitcoin? And my answer to that is, I don't know. And it seems like there were some weak links in that whole chain of custody. And now that this the custody is now spread over to different entities outside the United States, there's some FUD, obviously. So let me actually show you here. So MakerDAO, which is issuing the DAI stablecoin, they are now planning to offboard wrapped Bitcoin out of the collateral for the DAI stablecoin. And here they basically are talking about it, why they don't want to have Justin Sun involvement here. So they are talking about the TUSD stablecoin. So since TUSD was placed into Justin Sun's control, it has seen market deterioration in operational processes and transparency, including resignation of the previous management team, suspension of real-time proof of reserves, and several significant defects caused by interruptions in redemption service. So this is the problem here. So as a safety measure, MakerDAO basically wants to take out the wrapped Bitcoin backing from the DAI protocol. So this is the current composition of the DAI composition. And as you can see, most of the collateral is USDC. Then you have some Ethereum, you have Pax Dollar, and you have DAI and others. But wrapped Bitcoin is basically just this small 10% segment here. So it's not a crazy risk that they are currently holding with wrapped Bitcoin, but they would basically want to take it out completely because of the custodian issue. And I'm pretty sure it's not only Justin Sun that is scaring them, it's other things as well. And when I was researching into this, I will talk about why this is a nothing burger soon. But one of the reasons also is not only the TUSD situation, but also what happened with Tron Network. Sorry, this is actually a different post here. This one is what I wanted to look at. So this is from actually 2023 already, and this has to do with Just Lend protocol. So with Just Lend protocol, that is the protocol that I made a video some time ago, basically saying that I was bullish on Just token, I was bullish on TRX. And when we take a look at Just Lend, this is the protocol here, and it's basically it's a lending platform, and they have billions of dollars of assets here. So when we scroll down, you can see that Bitcoin, they are currently holding 87,000 Bitcoin in this protocol. And as you can see, the yield is basically zero. Okay, I'm not in mainland China. Anyway, well, now my internet is not working great. Everything is working great today. Anyway, you saw 87,000 Bitcoin here, and you saw that the APY was 0.01%. So the FUD here is that it's unverifiable if 60,000 Bitcoin on that protocol is even backed at all or not. And this is a full thread here. I don't know if it's fully backed or not, but there's like not clear transparency who is actually holding Bitcoin and who is not holding Bitcoin. So that's the problem with Justin Sun basically. But here is the counter argument to all of that, is that this is actually a nothing burger. Justin Sun is there only for the name. And when we take a look at this, this guy actually just encourages people to meet with the Bit Global team to hear how the custody will be secured along with BitGo. The underlying security is the same as what we have today, and the BitGo will still continue to provide near real-time proof of reserves. And if that ever changes, you will know in real time. So BitGo will still co-sign all the transactions using the same technology as always. So maybe there is some issue, maybe not. My personal take on this is that at least for now, this is a nothing burger. This may have scared some people from the market, but at least since the BitGo and the wrapped Bitcoin protocol, it was able to sustain the previous bull, the bear market. I don't think it will blow up here. It's more likely that we see some banks go bust on this cycle if there's a major market crash. And maybe wrapped Bitcoin protocol will go down with it at the same time. Who knows? But at least as of now, I don't think this will cause any major issues. But it is still a risk. And I think this move here has increased the wrapped Bitcoin risk. But I don't think it will blow up. I'm just saying the risk has increased. So when we take all of these things into consideration, I think there's an accumulation mode going on. And as people are selling here, if the price goes lower, even if there's some bad news, there's people who still want to buy Bitcoin and put it into their private wallets. So my take here is that we're just trying to find the bottom. Maybe the bottom is already in. Currently, I'm not seeing an evidence that was the bottom already or not, but at least from my perspective is that this was the bottom. We may go to 57,500, maybe even 56k, maybe even 55k, and retouch the yellow line here, and then we bounce. But at least as of now, it seems like Bitcoin is bullish. Depending, obviously, if the markets break and the wars break out, then it's a completely different story. But if we just take Bitcoin in isolation, then it's quite bullish in my opinion. So that's my update for this week or today. I hope you like this. consider subscribing to the channel if you like this kind of content, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.